Hi everyone. In our previous session, we tried to cover few basic aspects of the pivot table, like what are the options available on the right side of the table, how to create a pivot table, what are the four crucial parts of the pivot table. We learned these basic things. Now we'll try to cover few other aspects of the pivot table. Welcome to the second episode of the pivot table series. So this is the pivot table which we created. Okay. Let's see, whenever you select this pivot table data, there are two options enabled extra. In the top menu bar, you can see pivot table analyze and design. So if you click on any other data, apart from this pivot table, that options are not enabled. If you click anywhere on pivot table, anywhere, you will see these options getting enabled. So you can see by clicking anywhere. Okay. So let's see pivot table analyze. So the name suggests that how to analyze your pivot table in a better way. This particular toolbar will help you to analyze it in a better way. So let's see what options we have for this pivot table analyze. First one, we have an option to rename the pivot table. If you are in the particular Excel, if you have multiple pivot tables and you want to categorize it by naming them, you can do that. You can give the name like GL summary, for example. You can give any names based on the data you have. And then where you have kept your cursor, it will show the active field. So if you kept your cursor over here, it says it's a period. This is a serial number. This is the LE. This is the account. Everything it will show. This is the value. And if you want to rename anything, for example, this is the GL account, but it says column labels. I don't want column labels. I want header. So I can rename that GL account. And here, this is the period, right? So I'll put it as, instead of row labels, I'll put it as period. By default, Excel will give row labels, column labels, sum of value, these things. Based on the data, you can change it. And sum of value, you can say GL total. Like however you need based on the data, you can update that. Only the header fields, only these three fields can be updated. If you try to update anywhere in the pivot table, this particular place, it will say we cannot change this part of the pivot table. Only the headers can be updated. So let's go to the next option. So here you can see there are a lot of accounts. If you want to categorize them for a better analysis, for example, all the one series is assets, two series is liabilities, like that you want to categorize. So you can analyze this data in a better way. So you can select all the accounts, whichever you want, till all the one series I want to select. So I've selected, group the selection. So everything will be grouped. I'll just rename it again, saying that assets, and I'll just hide it. And second, I'll select all the two series accounts. Again, group selection, it will be my liabilities. This third, this will be my equity. And fourth, group and say it's my P&L. So analyzing all the accounts wide open or grouping them like this makes a lot of difference, and it will help you in analyzing in a high level better way. Similarly, you can group your rows as well, saying that, for example, these three rows, Q1. I can do that as well, saying that this is my Q1. And this, and this will be my Q2. Q2, Q3, and Q4. So couple of steps back, we have the pivot table wide open, but now this is simple pivot table. We just group the data based on the requirements we have. So this looks much better and much cleaner pivot table. So grouping and ungrouping can be useful in this way. If you don't want, you just select the data and click on ungroup, and everything will be wide open again. So this is one option. And the next option we have is the slicer. So you can insert slicer, which one you want a slicer. For example, I want a slicer for GL account. You have a lot of GL accounts, right? I want to analyze, don't want to analyze everything. I just want to analyze a couple of accounts. So I will just select and say analyze only this account, or analyze only this account. If you want multiple accounts also, I can select. Remove filter and everything will be selected. If you want to select only few, just select a few accounts by pressing the control button. You can hold the control button and you can keep on selecting how many accounts you want. This is the slices we have. If you want to slice down the data, we have 10 filters and you want to slice down only 3 or 4, instead of putting as a filter, you can put it over here so the people can also see what filters you're applying. If you put the same thing in the filter, every time you have to select over here to see which data you're filtering. But this can be visible to everyone. So let's see one more. Pivot table, insert slicer. I'm adding LE. So I have an LE slicer and LE filter. If I select couple of accounts, it just said multiple accounts. I don't know which one got filtered. Every time I have to see to understand which one got filtered. But if I do the same thing over here, just select 1, 2, 3, and you can see, right, on the right side, you can see which filters are applied. So this is much better way to present the things. And there's an insert timeline function available in the pivot table. Let's see insert timeline. For inserting timeline, you need to have something in date. Here I have a period which is in the date format, so I can use that. So this is how it looks. You can select how you want to slice down the data by years. If you have multiple years of data, you can use years option. If not, you can use quarters, months, days. Depending on the requirement, you can choose it. So let's see months first of all, and then we'll go for quarters. So if I select August, only the August period data got selected. If I select only November, it will be reflecting only November. Or if you want to see quarters, for example, Q1, all the data related to Q1 is coming over here. If I have multiple lines, it will show multiple lines. If I have only a couple of lines, it's reflecting over that. Years, for us, it's not applicable because we have data only for one particular year. Filter will be only 2025. If you want to select dates, you can do, but you have to specifically select the date which is available. So if you select anything else, it will just show blank. I have only couple of dates in the Excel, right? So I can select the dates which is available. So this is one option which is available. And then filter connections. Now I have one slicer and one timeline. Do you want to use both of them always, or you want to use any one thing at a particular point of time? So if you want to use only the slicer, just keep the GL account on, keep it as is and untick the period. So the period, it will be disabled for the moment. Even if you do changes, nothing will happen because the connection, we are breaking it at the moment. Nothing is changing, right? Only this is enabled. Only the GL account slicer is enabled. If you want to re-enable the connection, right click on this, report connections, click on the connection again. So there's one more advantage of the slicers and filters. For example, I have one more pivot table. So I'll just go here, select entire pivot table. I'm just copying and pasting over here. So now I have two pivot tables. I'll just delete this. I'll just delete this. So now I have two pivot tables. Pivot table from row 1 to 18 and row 22 to row 39. There are two pivot tables, right? So let's see how these slices behave. So if I select Q3, it's selecting only the top pivot table. Right click on this, report connections, and click GL summary and the pivot table this. Both the pivot tables I'm selecting. GL summary is the existing one and this is the new one. So I'm selecting both. And the moment I do any changes, Q4, both the pivot tables are updated, both the up. So I don't need to put filters in both the pivot tables. I can just put a filter once and both the tables will automatically update. Same thing we can do over here as well, report connections and select both the pivot tables. And the moment you select anything, both the tables will be updated simultaneously. So if I remove everything, everything is coming. If I remove everything, everything is. Both the tables will update simultaneously. If you have multiple uh, similar pivot tables and you want to apply same filters everywhere, like comparisons, if you are doing any comparison between two periods or two LEs, something like that, you can use these options. And everyone must be aware that whenever there's a change in the original data, you have to refresh the pivot, then all the data will get updated. For example, this number, I'm making it 0, September 24. Okay, let's say September 24, we have 3851107 before the updation. So if I refresh this, my number got changed. So whenever you do the refresh, only the changes made in the original data set will be reflecting in the pivot. So if you have multiple pivots, just click on refresh all. So everything will get refreshed at a time. If you have single pivot, just use refresh. And how you can change the data source, just click on this pivot table, change data source. If you want to add any lines or you want to delete any lines, so you can update using this change data source and you can update your range. And after doing the change data source, click on refresh so the data will be updated. So hope this helps. And let's continue the other options available in pivot table in the next series. Thank you.